Hey folks, I'm your host BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. It's 9:21. I better move it along. I got a couple other things to do here. The way to win over $200 in value in this Valentine's Day basket right here is to go to our Facebook page, Fetch Your News Facebook page, for how to win over $200 in value. And I will tell you, go to Fetch Your News Facebook page, and I will tell you what's in there before we close the show one more time. Go to number 30. Yes, they're wanting to know if there's going to be a pardon for Stone. Mr. Magoo. What's with the Mr. Magoo glasses, Roger? I mean, so Magoo's going to be arraigned today. They went nuts yesterday. Yesterday, the narrative was, you know, Stone is not ruling out working with the special counsel here, Mueller. Now, number 34. We get to this before we forget anything. Number 34. I think I just sent that, so it takes a minute. So at 4 a.m. this morning on the East Coast, first picture up today, okay? And here is the very first picture up this morning at 4 a.m. Acting Attorney General Mueller is almost finished. So whenever you get to 34, just replace this one with that one if you don't mind. So Acting Attorney General Mueller is almost finished, all right? And that was the very first thing CNN put out this morning at 4 a.m. And then we have number 25. Do you have 25? All right, put 34 up. So CNN, and the reason I put these up, you see the timestamp, 4 a.m. Acting Attorney General Mueller is almost finished. Okay. Now, there's a couple things I want you to listen for that I don't have time to do on the show. It's a 2-hour show. But your homework to do is a couple things that you're listening for. Number one, the entire time, especially in the last couple months, is anything and everything they could do begging us to protect Mueller's investigation, okay? Now, in the last 30 days, we'll just call it the last 30 days, they've ratcheted that up with, because they know it's almost over. Okay, this is why you're hearing it. They've ratcheted that up with, we need to be able to see the report. The American people need to see the report. Remember Barr being asked how the report was going to be released? Now they want to do something legislatively that says we must see the report and it must come to us. And I'll tell you why they want to see this report. And I will tell you why it's a big deal to them to see the report. Mueller's not writing the report. It will not be Mueller's handwriting. He is not sitting down and writing the report. There's going to be somebody else write this report. Number 25. All right. This was at 4:01 this morning. Russian investigation. Acting Attorney General. Mueller is almost finished. Matt Whitaker, and that's who's pictured there. The Acting Attorney General. I hope we can get report as soon as possible. Number 24. Whitaker's Justice Department will review Mueller's report. That has messed them up today. Now, this is standard protocol. This is standard how it works. Now, you and I both know that between the FBI and the Department of Justice and the special counsel, we know all the corruption, okay? When I say all, we know there's corruption in great depth in all of these agencies, all right? But realistically, going back to Kenneth Starr, remember the Department of Justice is who gave Mueller his powers, who gave Mueller his mandate, who said Remember Rod Rosenstein, okay? Not Jeff Sessions, a deputy director of the Department of Justice, gave Mueller, he appointed the special counsel. Everybody was up in arms, even Republicans. I think if we get a special counsel, we can see this through and it'll be done and over with. Why they justified that? This will clear things up. This will just get this all behind us. Because of why the President of the United States, within the powers of the executive branch afforded to him by the Constitution of the United States, dismissed the top criminal cop of the United States, again, James Comey from the FBI. Oh my God, he exercised his constitutional right as the executive of this country and fired him. We must look into it. So we demanded Rosenstein, okay, we demanded he appoint. And he obliged. So when he did this, so stay with me here, when he obliged and he put Mueller in charge, the Department of Justice is who writes their mandate. Remember the fear when Whitaker came in that he could just end the special counsel's investigation by just defunding the investigation and it would be over? Just not giving them any more money? Because it comes through the Department of Justice. So when Mueller is finished, he will likely hand a report to Barr. Not Whitaker, but likely hand a report to Barr. That's how it works. He reports in, goes to the Department of Justice. Now, Whitaker says Justice Department will review Mueller's report. Oh my God! He's going to review it! They've gone nuts over this morning because it's almost over and the Justice Department is going to review it, and the Justice Department has the right to write a summary and give it to Congress. They have a right to summarize it, pick it apart, and give it to Congress. They have a right. When I keep saying a right, I want to be careful with that, but it's their job to release what they can to the public. They do not have to release this report in its entirety. And there's a reason. So Whitaker says we will review this report. And oh my God, that has them up in arms, up in arms. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. Number 20. Okay. Why are they going nuts? Because this is the guy writing the report. This is the guy right here. Now you're going to say this is old news. This is old news that needs to be refreshed, just like your computer. And who is this guy here? Let's go with, his name is Wiseman. Okay, his name is Wiseman. I had this right here just a minute. I had his Wikipedia page up. But Andrew Wiseman is who this is. And Andrew Wiseman, once you do your homework at home, you need to look at this. This is the guy that is going to write the report. This is the guy. Now, if you go to Newsmax, we'll take Newsmax, and lawyer Sidney Powell, prosecutor's record destroys credibility for Mueller probe. Okay? And former FBI director, now special prosecutor, Robert Mueller has added Andrew Wiseman to the prosecution team investigating allegations of the Trump administration collusion. Mr. Wiseman's real record as a special prosecutor is so egregious that Mr. Mueller's decision to choose his former counsel Wiseman should cause concern for anyone whose past interest. A tough mob prosecutor in the Eastern District of New York, Wiseman became the first deputy director, then director of the elite Enron task force in 1991. The list goes on. In the trial rife with prosecutorial misconduct, obviously calculated to win at any cost, Wiseman helped rewrite critical jury instructions defining the crime and the intent required. 3 years later, a unanimous Supreme Court reversed conviction. All of the justices agreed that Anderson's conduct was not a crime, and it was shocking how little criminal culpability the jury instructions required. In plain English, Mr. Wiseman concocted a crime. The Supreme Court of the United States unanimously reversed the decision here in his case with Enron. You got to go into deeper on that. In plain English, Mr. Wiseman concocted a crime, destroyed a company and 85,000 jobs, spent millions of tax dollars, and obtained a wrongful conviction, all for nothing. The prosecutors were so overreaching that the judge even allowed Mr. Duncan to withdraw his guilty plea. Wiseman ran the grand jury like a petty tyrant. Okay, I'm just going on and on, all right? This is in depth of who Wiseman is. Now, Department of Justice, Bruce Orr, kept Mueller deputy in loop about anti-Trump dossier. Mueller deputy in loop. Who would that be? That's him. Sources say. In Battle Justice Department office, Bruce Orr had contact in 2016 with then colleague Andrew Wiseman, who is now a top Robert Mueller deputy, as well as other senior FBI officials about the controversial anti-Trump dossier. The sources said Orr reached out about the dossier as well as its author, ex-British spy Christopher Steele, the opposition research firm behind it, Glenn Simpson, and his wife Nellie Orr worked for Fusion, occurred before and after the FBI fired Steele as a source over his media contacts. Orr's network of contacts on the dossier included former FBI agent Peter Strzok, former FBI lawyer Lisa Page, former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, Wiseman, right there on the screen, Wiseman, and at least one other Department of Justice official and a current FBI agent worked with Strzok on the case. Wiseman was kept in the loop. Now, it is alleged, let me see, I got something else here. It is alleged that Wiseman, let me pull up my other one here. I had an article this morning that I was trying to get to right here. Hang tight. Sidney Powell, which wrote the other article I was talking about, Sidney Powell, longtime federal prosecutor and author Sidney Powell, described special counsel Robert Mueller's top prosecutor, Andrew Wiseman, and her reservations about him. Powell recalled how Wiseman forcefully prosecuted employees of the Arthur Andersen accounting firm during the Enron litigation, in which the firm's obstruction of justice conviction was unanimously overturned by the Supreme Court. Now, that's the one I want you to look into I was reading earlier. Okay? This is her quote. Andrew Wiseman could write a report about you giving your mother a nice Christmas present and make it sound like a federal criminal offense. She said Wiseman is a master manipulator of the media as well. Now, this is old news that needs refreshed. But this is right here, okay? Wiseman was kept in the loop on the dossier while he was chief of criminal fraud division. He is now assigned to the special counsel Mueller's team. Okay, this goes on in more detail with Orr and Wiseman. But let me say this, okay? Wiseman will write the report. Sources say allegedly, okay, on the internet, I have to say that, but there's enough, it comes from what I feel are good sources on the internet. Allegedly, Wiseman was at Hillary Clinton's, victory party that did not happen, all right? So this guy right here is as dirty as can be. He is one that is writing Mueller's report. And that guy right there is the reason why the Democrats are concerned. Go back to number, which one did we have here? Let's go back to number 24. Okay. Whitaker, Justice Department will review Mueller report. Will review. That's why their heads are spinning off. And that's why the Justice Department, Whitaker and Barr, plan to go through this thing with a fine-tooth comb because they know who's turning in the report. I believe that. And I believe that's the reason the Democrats and all of the media are going crazy over Whitaker's actually saying we'll review. And that's why you're hearing every day for the last 30 days at least how we must see it. We must see it. The American people must see it. Because Andrew Wiseman is writing that report. And don't think Mueller's going to hand it in. Wiseman's the writer. Watch and see. That's why they want to see the report. And that's why Adam Piece of Shift keeps saying the American people deserve to see what's in Mueller's report. I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back.